hello, and welcome to the talk show of Sena Speaks. But who is this Sena? What does he speak? Let's ask the man himself. Hello, Sena.
Hi. So, to answer your question, Sena has been speaking to itself for a long time. Sena is a name that my first ever manager in Chennai gave a name for me. So I have a lot of thoughts. I've lived and worked in 3 continents, gathered a whole bunch of information, and I feel compelled to convey that information to the whole world, whether they like it or not.
But what is your actual name by birth, sir, for all of us to know?
So my name is Sendil Nathan. He said SCNA fits in,
Right.
and let the Sena roll. The Sena has been rolling along.
Okay. Here we are with Mr. Sendil Nathan, a versatile personality, a professional, and now also a stand-up comedian and a blogger. And I'm profoundly delighted to be going to have a Q&A session with him on his recent blog, Einstein in Tea Kadai. And as a reader, when I came across the blog, it's very clear that it's a philosophical blog. So my first question to you is, from when did philosophy start interesting you?
In my opinion, philosophy is not a standard set of rules. It is how the natural world is. I'm probably 30 years late in writing my first blog, is what I would say. It looks like I've always been interested in such topics. Yeah.
So I am sure today I'm hosting a very interesting personality who's observed philosophy way too much. And he says he's late into writing, but I definitely say it's actually a good start. Okay, to get into blogging, to write his thoughts that he has gathered over 3 different continents. So what are the continents that you've been observing people across?
I started with the Chennai continent.
Chennai is like a continent, yes.
So my first job was in Chennai. Destiny took me other way to Hong Kong. And then I landed in and around New York in the North America for about 10 years. I lived in US for 10 years. And then I took a short transfer to UK, London to be specific, for a couple of years. So Asia, North America, and Europe are the 3 continents I worked in.
So one man across 3 continents, and here is a blog that brings out all the thought process he's been going across, all the philosophies he's been silently observing throughout his lifetime across 3 continents. And I'm sure this blog is worth reading, worth understanding, and he's here with us to simplify the concepts and give it easy for all the viewers today. Now let's get deeper into the blog. For all the readers here, the blog starts with a term called absolutism, and that's something we would like you to decode for us. What's absolutism?
As human beings, we absolutely need a set of rules to follow.
Yeah.
From dawn to dusk or dusk to dawn, whichever way you want to consider. And we think that those set of rules are unchangeable. Okay. And not only, as an individual, I have to follow it. Everyone around me has to follow the same set of rules. And that's the only ideas that are valid. I just literally converted the world called absolute into absolutism because there is a requirement for having a set of absolutes, right? Okay. My argument is against absolutism, not for absolutism.
Okay.
Because there is nothing absolute in life, in my opinion, and which is where Einstein comes in handy when Einstein explains the theory of relativity. His scientific, probably proven method is time can be stopped. In a very layman perspective, you can take time as the x-axis and space as the y-axis. And so if you just vertically climb on the y-axis, then the x-axis stays at 0. So again, just technically, you can be in the same time. For you to be just in this exact second, like 10:30 a.m., 10:30 a.m. at that time, if you start moving faster in space, then kind of time stops for you. So if time itself is not an absolute, what else is an absolute? There are no absolutes. Yeah. So finally, absolutism is people taking absolute values to an extreme corner and saying, these are the set of right things to do. Yes. So when you come to like right things to do, who decides what is right or wrong? Where is the verification mechanism you can use?
Okay.
Well, people do have verification mechanisms. That again becomes absolutes.
And now the blog's name is very interesting. It says Einstein in Tea Kadai. So let's ask the blogger himself. Why did you think of this character called Einstein, who is probably being forgotten? Thanks to you for bringing him back to life. And why a tea kadai?
So Einstein is one of the great scientific minds for sure. Theory of relativity, like I explained, stuck to me as a key factor. If you look at the theory of relativity, he uses my technique back then to come up with the theory of relativity. He just sits in a tram and then travels. And then as the tram travels faster, he, I think, observes a clock tower to be more stagnant. So even Einstein used my technique of observations to come up with all his theory. So there is no place on earth other than tea kadai to bring it. The tea kadai speeches become very important.
Yes, yes. Now, Einstein's theory of relativity and Sena's theory of relativity. Now, how are they related?
Yes, that's also another key aspect that I'm trying to bring from this blog. A human mind, in my opinion, can only comprehend something in relation to something else, right?
Like you had mentioned about the ER words in your blog. Hotter, colder.
Yes, that's right. The ER is the only thing that exists. Please don't go there. That's in the hospital. But there is nothing called absolutely cold or absolutely hot, right? It doesn't work that way. So, for example, entire Chennai is freezing in 25-degree weather, and for someone living in Canada, it will be very nice weather for them to go around, right?
Yes.
So the other key point that I'm trying to bring is most of the things can only be understood in a relative fashion. The ER factor comes into the play. Hotter, colder, warmer, taller, shorter, whatever you want to say, right? I get that. But then the problem is, do you fully understand it? Nature operates in that way. Lack of that understanding is where people ignore that part and they go into what I call absolutism.
Yes.
And it creates all kinds of problems.
So that's how theory of relativity is infused into this blog. And when theory of relativity fails, that's when absolutism comes into picture.
Correct.
Though this blog is full of science, full of philosophy, full of depth matter, what stands out to me is it's completely humor infused. It's probably because there is a stand-up comedian living inside you. So did it come to you naturally, or was it a conscious choice to use humor in the blog?
I do have a feeling that humor and philosophy are just two sides of the same coin, right? I think a lot of people over a period of time are using comedy as a sugar-coated mechanism to send in some hard messages, right? People ignore the hard messages and then like only the sugar coating.
So I think those who love philosophy as well as those who love to read humor content, it is for all of these kinds of people. In the blog, what I understood is Einstein seems quite complaining to the nair that people are so much obsessed over numbers. But when I read through the blog, I found that the numbers are all still correct only, no? Then why is still Einstein complaining about numbers?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Like you said, the numbers are correct.
Yes.
Okay, from our understanding, scientifically correct.
Okay,
and that's the point Einstein is making. They're scientifically correct. Science may evolve, and then those numbers can change. So if we are so obsessed with those numbers, we will become interested in memorizing those numbers and writing entrance exams with those numbers, right? The truer understanding of those numbers go away. So, for example, if you look at that spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, assume that's the right answer. That's a tremendous speed, right?
Yes.
There's no way any individual can spin around themselves at 1,000 miles, but we are stationary. We think we are stationary, but we are actually spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. But then you take the number and then compare that with the Earth running around the universe at 60,000, 7,000 miles per hour. then the 1,000 pales in comparison to 67,000, and it's super fast. There is no vehicle that we have today which can travel at 67,000 miles per hour. Not even the fastest rocket probably can do that, right? So the numbers are scientifically correct.
Yes.
And you are interested in only learning, or not learning, I should say, just memorizing those numbers. The true impact over there is those are much bigger than you. Those numbers mean, and if you just become obsessed with the absolute numbers alone, your thinking will not go beyond that. Much larger forces in play over here. And for you to understand the breadth and depth of it, you need to have that relative phenomenon in front of you to go and say, how does it matter? How many zeros does it have? So how does it matter to us if the Earth starts revolving at 67,000 miles per hour or 68,000 miles per hour? It's the nature of the universe, and the nature of the universe is open-minded. So that is where Einstein is asking everyone to look at the true nature of the numbers rather than being obsessed with exact, absolute things.
Now, this Einstein being a scientist and here Nair a layman, how is this Nair able to, understand, perceive, or accept Einstein into his tea shop first?
Einstein is a customer, so Nair has to.
Okay.
There is an absolute relationship over there, right?
Okay.
So that's another important point. Yes, from Einstein's point of view, it's an understanding, and Nair starts thinking, oh, people are spinning at that speed, will they spill my tea, and then what will happen to that tea? And that's a very valid thinking as well.
That's what people say, right?
The idea is to bring Einsteins to all the tea kadais and the restaurants, and help people to understand, hey, this is what fact is. I'm more interested in relaying facts to people as they exist, but not through numbers, and then say, you won't understand the true nature of it if you don't have an open mind. If you just keep still sky as the limit, then that's your limit.
I personally like the tiger example. It is very striking, wherein you try to say that animals just accept life as such, but we human beings, we always have the tendency to chase perfection. Do you think human beings have this overcomplicated thinking habit?
You take a tiger, an apex predator, as an example. It's one of the most powerful animals in nature, and it doesn't have any other option other than to take nature as it comes. That's point number one. It doesn't think about, like we see in the animal shows, how strong are my muscles, how big is my paw. It doesn't know any of that stuff. It just acts. It just acts, right? If a tiger gets a sambar deer, then it doesn't have to hunt for a longer time being, because there's enough meal over there. And I'm sure people would have seen only 10 to 20% of the hunts of these big cats are successful. The prey will most of the time run away from them before they can catch them, right? The whole point is, if the tiger sits there like a striped monk and then waits for only a sambar deer to come while all other prey are walking around over there, it'll just go hungry, and that's it, right? It just looks around. It tries to find what is available, and then just goes for the kill, because that is what is available for the tiger now. Bringing back to the human life, I'm not actually complaining about perfection per se. When you try to do something, do it in a perfect fashion is actually good, I think. And I think as a society, we are missing that perfection. We do things in a haphazard fashion. Moving into a different angle and then saying, maybe there is something called the perfect life is where we are going towards. And that's a disastrous idea, right? There's no single definition of a perfect life.
Okay, while I would like to partially agree with you, I still would like to challenge you by asking this. But an animal is an animal. A tiger is just a tiger when we think of it as an animal. But we are human beings. We have the sixth sense, which the tiger doesn't have. That's why we're all probably chasing perfections or, thinking of becoming a doctor or an artist. We always have goals and targets. That's how we operate. Maybe I call it nature. It could be absolutism, but that's nature. So, how do you like to justify this, that human beings are different from animals by all means?
Correct. Human beings are definitely different from the rest of the animal kingdom. There's no doubt about that. Again, we just call it sixth sense. It's a name that we kind of, something is there. Something is there which
is there that animals don't have.
Animals don't have and we do have. So like I said, perfection is not a problem for me at all. Perfection comes into play when you have decided to go and do something, and then you define something as perfection and you take it to some kind of logical conclusion. Is what I would call perfection, right? And again, I cannot do something and call it perfect.
Yes.
Others have to agree. It's only from a general agreement there is something called perfection comes from, right? On the sixth sense part, right? Are we actually using the sixth sense is my question. If you actually use that sixth sense, which is probably what I would call thinking, right? If you think, you won't go and define only some things as perfect and other things are lesser perfect comparatively, right? The airport fails over there in that kind of comparison. So the sixth sense should be used. We do have something which is clear and apparent that it's different from what other animals have, but we are not using it is my complaint.
So you think human beings are not using their sixth sense wisely or maybe to its fullest potential. So what will happen if they start using?
Yeah, I can only cover it, what is happening because they are not using the sixth sense. That's easier.
Okay.
Because I need a bigger crystal ball on what will happen. I do have my ideas. I need content for my further blogs to go. So I use this blog for this purpose.
Yes.
If you're not using that sixth sense to its fullest potential,
yes,
you are moving very far away from a natural life and you become like a machine is my opinion, right? Machines require rules. Machines just follow instructions. A machine by nature is designed to go and do that. In a natural life, when compared to a machine, a tiger is still a lot more better. Or the deer is also better, right? So when you do come up with just solid ideas, ideologies, right? Probably philosophical term to use is dogma. You come up with dogma. What dogma means is non-changeable set of rules.
Okay.
This
fixed, rigid.
Fixed, rigid, cast in stone rules. This is what it is. There is nothing beyond this. It is sort of in a very humble fashion saying, I know everything and this is what it is. That's what we have become. We humbly say that I know everything and there's nothing more to be known, right? Dogmas, in my opinion, are dangerous. You asked me before to define my blog title.
Yes,
in one word. Absolutism is another name for just that dogma or fixed set of rules, right? Societies do deteriorate when they try to follow those kind of fixed rules.
Perfectly aligns with how you had mentioned one section of your blog wherein you said people come up with their own theories and then they start believing, worshipping that those theories are the right ones.
Correct. You are absolutely right. We just forget that it is just people who came up with those theories, right? And then move away from that model as if some kind of divine force gave that theories.
The last segment of the blog is ideas and ideologies. So can you please throw some light on that segment, please?
Ideas die when ideologies march, right? So a short essence of it is human life gets enhanced with a lot of different ideas in play. When ideologies come into picture, the rest of all the ideas go away and one set of ideas just stick around. Like we discussed before, they stick around until they fail and then the next set of ideas come into picture, right? So whether you want to call it natural life, an optimal, better life, not the best life. I will never define best life, right? Right. So a better model is to have different sets of ideas to have them in play, right? Instead of focusing on one set of ideas. In May 91, we had DD1 and 2. In December 91, I could see there are private channels and then 5 channels show up. Come May 1992, people didn't know what to watch in TV because there were 25 channels, right? So 2 to 25.
Yes.
It's a different set of ideas. Why it was only 2 channels, that was a different idea, that there should be only 2 channels, right? And then when you open up, it's a question of which one do you like. Obviously, people like more different ideas, right? That's probably the essence of absolutism. Go for ideas, not for ideologies. Fear of ideas is how society shrink. If you are repeating the same thing again for some point of time, and then new ideas coming in, and you are afraid of it, then rather than embracing it, you have to embrace it to figure out whether it works for you or not. But you're so afraid, and then you just keep churning in that same circle.
Okay.
Nothing changes.
That's a good takeaway message. The fear of idea is when the world starts shrinking. Well, I go with all of these now. Einstein, T. Nair, everything has started making sense to me. But now I have a really funny question. How did you mention that ideas are like premium? All of a sudden I read a line, ideas are like premium, and then I started bursting into laughter.
Ideas are like primum. The other person keeps changing every few years, right?
But premium is love.
Primum is love, right? Primum is love.
Oh, the person who loves keeps changing?
Keeps changing, right? Could change. It could change. It should not change.
Yeah.
But the whole universe conspires for it to change. That's what they're explaining.
Okay, that's why you mentioned ideas are like premium, which means ideas keep changing.
Could change.
After reading the blog, I have this very pointed question to you. Why do you think people are so uncomfortable with maybe, but they are very much comfortable saying this is the truth, whether it's the truth or not?
It's probably summarizing the blog in a just pointed way, in a nutshell, right? In the process of following what they think as truth, very clear definitions of what needs to be done. You don't have to spend your energy thinking. Process of thinking is very onerous for many human beings. You can take a number of examples. Let's say people starting their own business. How do they know it will work? It's easier to go and work for an established business because someone has done the maybe part, right?
Yes.
So it's as simple as we all end up working for some organization. How do the people that run those organizations know that this will work, this will not work? They don't know for sure. They'll have to do the trial and error. So we are kind of outsourcing those trials and errors to other set of human beings. Let them use their sixth sense, and we will just follow the rules. To achieve equality, maybe should be there. Truth model should not be there.
Okay. Yes, we will have to question the maybes rather than being very rigid, telling this is the truth. It's like, being blindfolded and doing.
You have to embrace the maybe first. You have to embrace the maybe first, and then say, hey, that's what natural life is.
That's where growth also begins.
That's all growth also begins. Yes.
Okay. Now, my next question to you is, I know you are a site leader, top in the hierarchy. Life must be keeping you professionally very busy. Now, between all this, how did you get blogging as a passion, and where do you find time?
For every working professional, I'm recording this on a Sunday, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Please note it.
Please note
Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
Non-working day.
Non-working day, and then I'm recording it. If I have to make a very conscious choice about writing these blogs, it just wouldn't work at all.
Yes.
In my case, at least, I'm just expressing the thoughts that are going on in my mind. So for actually writing the blog itself, it took me less than an hour to go and write those things down, right? I tried the latest technologies also. I went to all the AI tools. And then I had to give up finally that the intelligence is far better than the artificial ones.
Natural is better.
Natural is better, so I have to bet on my intelligence. I don't have to find time. The real finding time is just typing. The subsequent blogs also, I know what I need to write. So the writing part doesn't take my time. Okay. But you got to understand that it's easier for me because I've spent the prior 50 years thinking about all these things, which is why it's easier. And if your mind is wide open and doesn't have rigid rules, then in my opinion, the process becomes much more easier to go into.
Okay, I think this is also inspiring in the way that, it's never too late to follow your passion. Here is Sena Speaks Sendil Nathan with me. And though age cannot be revealed, can I just ask you what's your age to the audience?
Oh, the hair color and the loss of hair. I keep telling people I've been around about 2,500 years. So.
You keep telling people. Is there an absolute truth to it?
No, there cannot be any absolute.
That's not being revealed. Whatever it is, the way I am inspired today is age is just a number, and one can follow one's passion at any age of life.
That is true. I'm way past the prime to start that in a normal sense.
But it's never too late.
It's never. That's what I feel. It's never too late. I started everything 50 plus. Never too late.
And in the process, you've revealed your age.
Yes, I will. Yeah. Where exactly after the 50, I haven't revealed yet. We will reveal it. All of this, I started around when I was 50 years old. So it does look like it is never too late.
More than reading the blog, I think after having this talk show with you, the whole blog starts to make a lot of sense to me. Question number 1, when is your next blog? Question number 2, is it also going to be philosophy based? Question number 3, when is it getting released? All of it, if you can answer for our viewers.
I have ideas for a lot of blogs.
Okay.
As long as viewers are ready. Actually, let me take that back. Whether viewers are ready or not ready, my blogs will keep.
Sena is continuing to speak whether viewers are ready
whether
or
viewers
not.
are not there. Absolutism is Pongal. We'll figure out something for Valentine's Day next.
Valentine's Day, that's why you ended the previous blog delaying. Ideas are like Premam, which is giving a hint that he is going to come up with his next blog on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day in philosophy?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Let's not give out too much of information. So we will all look forward to your next blog. And again, having a talk show, decoding, all that is there in the blog. And
Valentine's Day is nothing but philosophy is what I'm going to
Oh, love is a philosophy. Okay. We are looking
Don't
forward.
separate love and philosophy.
Okay. Love is philosophy.
Our philosophy is
There is a lot of love in philosophy.
Yeah.
Okay, looking forward with a lot of excitement to your next blog. Thank you so much for taking time and enlightening all of us with that blog. And we are definitely looking forward to reading a lot of blogs from this actual professional whose side gig is blogging and stand-up comedy. So stay tuned, all of you. Sena Speaks is the channel, and all of you kindly subscribe and let's get enlightened with a lot of what Sena speaks. Thank you. This is Anchor Revati signing off along with Sena.
Thank you.